welcome back, everyone. I'm so excited that we are once again streaming. Now that we've been unhacked, yeah, we're back. How's everyone doing?
Meh.
We're feeling great today.
That's what I like to hear. There's the energy I'm looking for. Your character's surviving this session, Max.
Suckers.
We have, when we last left off, the party leveled up to level 7 after escaping the Stone Thief. Maybe not exactly as they intended or planned or when they planned, but they have left, and Ashes was left behind to the best of their knowledge. He's dead.
In Balrin's knowledge, he was impaled.
Balrin does know he was dead. He's dead, yes.
There's also currently a manhunt on ensuing for Balrin's head. At first sight, he will be smited by at least 2 people.
He'll be smited. He's the smitee.
I am a smiter as well, so I can also smite.
Max, you called Balrin the smite E. That means he's the one being smitten.
I'm smitten for Balrin.
Or is it smote?
Smote.
Anyway, the party has been split up. We are about to follow the very first person, Leanne, and then we're going to grab a few other people along the way. Not to spoil too much, but Rumham, who are you, and why aren't you playing Kalia today?
Hello, I'm Rumham. I am not playing Kalia, the shitty shield bearer cleric today, cause
Hey,
Kalia's
she's my favorite shield bearer cleric, alright?
Thanks. No, Kalia's spending some time with the in-laws right now, getting to know Leanne's dad. So today, excuse me, big yawns. I will be playing Anya Romanovna, the rogue barbarian moth woman.
Excellent. That's what I like to hear. Ellen, how you doing?
A real Monday.
It's a real Monday. You are playing Dane.
Yeah. I am.
How you
Dame
feeling?
Kiri Jadespine, Dwarf and Operatic Bard, head of the Jadespine clan. I'm feeling good.
Good.
Yeah.
Your character's in trouble. We'll return to that in a bit. I'd like to welcome our guests. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yes, hello, welcome. I am Death Metal Bard. You may remember me from playing Kranzov Deep Guts in that tournament. And I also played a werebear. Those were cool. But I am playing Drek, the Retkin Barbarian, and as always, it is always fun to be here.
Now, Drek is a character from our spin-off series, Star Stuff. That just ended last week. Sad to see it go. Happy to carry its characters forward into the future. Pow.
How's it going? I'm Leanne Lawrence, and I'm Commander.
Wait. So Leanne is playing?
Mm-hmm.
But... Okay.
I have a plan.
Okay.
Okay.
I smell trouble in paradise.
Can we just kick Max out of the call real quick?
Boo! You stink!
Hey, Lucian won't be here to actually say it, so I had to say it.
Yeah. And now, today, Max is here, like usual, but today he'll be playing a new character. Not one we expect to see often, but Lario is, as we recall, the little man who was hired by Raza back in Santa Cora from the religion of, what was their name? They believed that, those who have money and wealth and power were destined to do so and favored by the gods to do so. This man has followed Raza around through the war campaign, leveled up a bit himself, is now somewhat of an adventurer, and that is who Max will be playing today. Max, if you want to find a real quick image for your character, feel free.
Oh, that's his homework. Instead of introducing himself, he has to go find a picture.
Yep.
And then he has to send that picture to me so I can put it in Conca.
And then send it to you.
And Seb, after a long, long time, after how many elves has Raza slain? Seb.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah. Yeah. After how many sessions?
Elves.
Elves. No, I don't know. That's a big number.
I last left off at over 700, so.
I would assume 700 is the official number, but there's no telling like what the real number.
You know, we don't really count like, you know, how many he's maimed,
No.
how many he's, you know, still in the ears of.
No, not at all.
Am I the only one who writes anything about their characters now?
It was 701.
Raza has been let go from the warfront early. They've claimed that his work was enough and he's fulfilled his contract, if not in number perhaps, but in effort. Now, if I could...
Wait a second. So does that mean I have a swamp?
That means you are legally entitled to a swamp.
Fucking swamp boys now, baby!
Swamps!
That's a nice boulder.
Now, some of the details around that have maybe make more sense to Leanne. Leanne, after you popped out somewhere in the Frost Range, you found out that the Dwarven Elvish War has come to a grinding, sudden peace. Temporary truce, really. And the reason for this is after the huge bit of Shadowport that got gobbled up by the Stone Thief then proceeded to knock out one of these Elvish territories on the map. And, you know, we're going to roll for it. Can I get a D3?
Yeah, sure. I guess I'll be the hand of God deciding what dies.
God.
Damn, bye.
With the sudden prevalent threat of... Damn it, Max! Fine.
Come on.
With the sudden prevalent threat of the Stone Thief striking not in random, you know, abandoned manors and houses, not at little elemental outcrops, but now at the heart of actual cities. The war certainly isn't over, but they've decided to put aside their differences in a temporary truce and focus their efforts on taking out this menace. Of course, that's not the only thing that's happened to tilt the war. The war, which was heavily favored for the elves for so long, they lost the city, and they also lost a major commander taken out by Raza in a strike force. Sab, do you want to tell us about this target?
Yes. This target was known only as the Houndmaster, and he had, at the start of the occupation on the Elven front line for Raza, managed to early on trap the dwarves' new living weapon, and dragged Raza through the forest with his pack of dogs. Laria was able to jump in and save Raza, but Raza was left critically wounded. Big changes were made to Raza in order for him to keep surviving after that attack. And then one night during an ambush, Raza took out the Houndmaster's headquarters with Lario's help, but it was a gruesome scene. The dogs were gutted. The Houndmaster himself was was basically eaten whole by Raza.
Wow. Now, of course, this information doesn't just, you know, it's rarely, like, some of it's in newspaper, but Leanne, tell us the surprising source you've learned about some of this from?
I learned some of this from. Alright, hang on. Let me check Conquer real quick for the character's name that I'm thinking of. Hang on. Because I know exactly who I want. I just forget her name.
My beautifully organized Conca.
You might be thinking of Aldwin.
No. She's a good option, but she was not the one that came to mind immediately. The chick we met on the island.
Oh, the rogue who stole Ash's heart and then some of his items and then disappeared. I also forget her name. Let's see. Is it anywhere in here? No.
At this point, would that lady be the love of Ash's life?
That. You're not wrong.
Was that before or after Shadowport? That was
Wasn't it
before.
Hales? This person?
Tails.
Yeah, a rogue who's known to go on adventures and never come back with a full crew. Investigated by the Empire multiple times, but seems to just have terrible luck. Leanne Warrens knows her from a previous mission where she helped her and now owes Kales a favor.
Yeah.
You know,
Sure.
Rum, you know, you've had a +2 background. I think let's go ahead and make sure we guarantee you a 6 today. If everyone could roll their icon relationships. real
Oh,
quick.
hell yes! That's the best bonus you've ever given me. Well,
Of
wait, I'm
course.
not playing Talia, so maybe
Nope.
I'll actually roll my my icon relationships here. Nice, starting strong.
Now,
1
please.
6.
Yep.
Cool. I got 1 6.
Now, of course,
Nah.
you're gonna have to remap that to the local icons, but you're fine. So you learned this from Kales. How did you bump into her? Last we saw, she had been eaten up into the Stone Thief.
Well, there's one thing Kales is really good at. Do you know what that is? Do you know what that is?
Surviving.
It's having other people die by happenstance as she somehow nimbly steps out. So the last time it surfaced, generally speaking, was Shadowport.
Yep.
In the time where it ate us and we had to eject the eyeball into the atmosphere, she managed to get out, but unfortunately, the adventurers she went with that were eaten earlier, and she managed to convince to come along, they got crushed underneath all of the Shadowport buildings while she barely managed to climb and jump from building to building out.
Unfortunate. But
Wait,
also
who-
predictable.
Who was this?
Kales of the debatable luck. If you remember, Ash was trying to hit on her, and there was a giant monster, and you all blasted the monster off the boat with a big ray of friendship and love.
That doesn't
Oh,
narrow it
yeah.
down that much, honestly.
Yeah. This was the lady that I was trying to get to come back when Ash still wanted to become human again.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, the war zone boundaries are kind of back to where they started along Old Wall after all that. Lots of fun. Now, Max, today you are playing Lario. As Leanne has been traversing her way to the nearest real settlement, and now along with Kales, you and Raza, you have been escorting a heavily wounded Raza back to his new home. How do you bump into them?
On the road? Like,
This
what?
is wait a second. To be sure, this is from a different fight than the Houndmaster, then, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Okay.
it might. When I say heavily injured, I mean I think it's just Leanne hasn't seen Raza in a long time, and Raza looks a lot worse for wear, and also.
Oh
larger.
yeah.
Definitely larger.
So myself and who?
And you're with Raza.
But there's no one else?
I mean, you could feel free to invent other people who are there.
Okay.
Do
so
you
it's
think
an
he-
It's none of
think
it's none of the
he-
party.
You think
Do you
that,
think you need anybody?
To carry Raza?
No, I mean we got a cart and a horse. I'm sure.
Oh, we do.
Yeah, I'm sure we got a horse and cart. Right, like the dwarves are not gonna fucking. They just gave me a huge swath of land. I have 700 elves to a fucking kill count, and you were right there for all of them. I think we have a cart.
Okay. All right. We got a cart.
They're creaking along the road, carrying Raza and a bunch of gold and probably like a bag of elf ears and food in the cart as well. It is Leanne, you see Lorio and Raza.
You got Halval to talk to too.
Yeah, no, Leanne is only interested in Havel.
And Lorio is probably only doing this because he's afraid of what Halval will do. Because he doesn't like Lorio doesn't like Raza, right? He's like, I'll get another egg. Right?
I mean, it's been what, almost time, like real time, what, almost a year?
It's been a long time that you two have been together now, and Lorio's had a lot of time to come to terms with being with Raza.
You've learned a lot. It hasn't just been me either. You've been hanging out with dwarves.
This is kind of your chance to take that character concept and do with it however you want. If you want to still be like, man, working for Raza sucks, feel free. If you want to be like, no, I begrudgingly like Raza now, feel free.
If you're like, I'm totally 100% into this.
I think he would be like the rest of the party, and he's 100% into Havel and not Raza. But he realizes the operation that's going on here.
Well, Halval's yours. Raza doesn't.
Oh, well then we don't need Raza. We can just leave. We can just leave him at the room.
Wait, what? What do you mean it's mine?
Yeah. You have the axe. Lorio has the axe. Raza doesn't
really?
use it anymore.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Okay. No, he'd feel too bad. Also, everything he's doing is being taped and broadcasted.
Yes, that part is still true.
Let's not forget,
He's not gonna just do an atrocity.
everything that's happened to
No,
Raza.
everyone will know.
Every kill, every nighttime raid, every explosion that took off bits of Raza's flesh, the hounds dragging him away, every single moment was captured and broadcast live, oftentimes edited, to a religious following who have long believed Raza to be a demigod sent onto their plane, and now some might worship him more than their original god.
Yeah, Lorio's in it for the fame. That's what he's here for.
That would align with your original religion.
Yep.
That would align with that sort of original goal. That's fair.
All right. Well.
Hey, Leanne.
Oh. Great. Of all the people I meet first.
It's your local superstar. I know.
Fame is very much fleeting. He's as famous as I am.
I'm not visible. I'm in the cart.
Well,
You're not visible in the cart?
You're saying...
No, I think it's like big and shadowy, right?
It's a cart. I don't know. You're a huge lizard. I don't know, man.
A wagon, I guess. Yeah.
Definitely been imagining a wheelbarrow.
Me too.
Oh, I have been imagining a cart. I don't think Lorio is strong enough to heft around a giant lizard.
I think even in a wagon, Raza would be visible.
Look, that's unimportant. Continue.
So, let me get this. Let me get everyone here up to speed as quickly as possible. We got eaten by the stone thief for a second time. One of the eyes of the stone thief is somewhere around Shadowport, give or take. And everyone has been scattered by portals.
You don't say. Hey, do you still make those what are they? Plums that heal things?
I don't think I've ever made a plum that heals.
All right. Well, our dear friend here, I'll just like uncover Raza, like just like a limb or a tail behind. Could use some of your help.
I will consider a meal for him. However, and this is the important part, we need to get back to civilization so I can get information. And above all else, get back to the Jadespine Manor.
I wouldn't mind going back there.
It's not far from
Hop
the
in.
land promised to Raza.
All right, hop in and get
Well.
cooking.
It's better than nothing.
It's still loading for me, by the way.
Uh-oh. You have to force sync.
Should I redo? Oh, there we go. There we go.
Alright, here we are.
Holy what?
This is a foresty part of the Empire. You've seen large birds passing by overhead. One chunk of the forest seems like it was at one point nommed by possibly a much smaller, living dungeon. Maybe just a grazing pass of the stone thief. But there's a bird nest in there, giant rock. Although whatever hatchling it's sitting on has been making, birds make peculiar noises, don't they? We have lost Ellen, so please continue.
Perfect timing, let's go.
Perfect timing.
That's a large bird.
Yeah, we normally just keep riding.
Normally.
Although Raza might kill me if I don't get an egg.
No. No, Raza doesn't move.
All right, I say we carry on then.
So, Havel, how's been the murder?
Tell us, Max.
Well, you're Havel.
Oh.
I can't do the voice.
It's your weapon. I don't have a cup.
He was always a separate entity.
Yeah, I think you should still play Havel.
If you're gonna be completely honest, I don't think Halval says much either. They're sort of like the light of acknowledgement, like your phone, right, lights up when it answers up. But then it takes almost entirely too long, and after a moment, there's sort of like this noise of static, and then just a distant fine. War is war.
Yeah, he's been doing that lately.
I see.
Not much of a talker these days. I think he's a little camera shy.
So, Lario, I wanted to ask something about the war. Has there been any insights about the bow?
The what?
The bow that kicked off the whole conflict? Have you heard anything?
Windthorn, the bow made of living tree wood imbued with the soul of a dwarven war hero.
Yeah, we're on the dwarf side, and they don't really talk that much about bows, And my company that I'm usually around, they don't talk that much in general. You just kind of get pointed at directions, and sometimes Havel will teleport places. I don't ask that many questions.
The lizard squad is usually just you and me. There's a few dwarves that we meet up with every night, but when it comes to day operations, it's just you and me, brother.
I see. Well, you have any questions to ask me?
Can you cook anything on the road?
Well, I certainly can. I just need ingredients.
Oh, well, I'm really good at
I-
finding mushrooms.
I used just about all I had just before we left the Stone Thief.
Mm. Yeah, turtles and mushrooms are what I usually live off of while Raz is hunting stuff. You know.
Oh, that's... I've certainly heard of worse diets.
Go ahead.
I suppose I should inform you. You're aware of the general people we're looking for, right, Lario?
Civilization.
Yes, but also we need to keep an eye out for the rest of my friends that I was with.
Oh, yeah, the blind guy, right?
Actually, no, he wasn't there for this. But, I'm looking for another, tiefling. He's my dad.
Oh. Not too many of them around here.
Yes,
I'll let you know if I see one of them.
that would be greatly appreciated. Alright, so you were saying something, Tim?
Yeah, no. The silence of lack of conversation, Raz and Havel aren't contributing. Lario and Leanne kind of tried, make some small talk, but it just returns to quiet trotting along the path, the creak of the wheels of the wagon, the silent whir, like the barely audible whir of the eye streaming every step you take behind you. It is not hard to hear from around the bend a loud, snobbish, annoying voice. Those high elves think they're all that they know so well. But with this framing of ours, we will have surely put an end to this annoying piece. And around from the corner is a large moth, a less large rat holding a large sword, and the face that Leanne has seen before. The paint denoting him as a Trialese is barely there. It's been washed away. But this man has in the past committed crimes and posed as and gotten denoted as trying to be a legislator in order to avoid the law.
Of all places to find them.
Anya, you are far more attentive than your benefactor.
Oh
that you're
no,
currently...
I'm sorry. My headset died.
God.
My headset died. Can you reintroduce that? I knew you were. I had a feeling. I was like, I know he's talking to me or about me, but my headset is dead and it took forever to turn back on. It's on now. I can hear you, but
Today is...
You know what, Drek?
something else.
You are more attentive than the rest of your party. You noticed that the other people around the corner first.
I don't see anyone else.
Because they're around the corner.
Death Metal Bard?
Drek, as kind of taking up the rear, he just kind of yells out, "You see anything? In front, Anya."
yeah. I know you're short. I guess I can see something up ahead. It looks like a light.
Are you not loaded into the map?
Oh, there we go. Yep, I'm loaded in now. Yes. Oh. Wow. Okay. Where are we coming in from? I'm not on the map.
You should be bottom right. Over here.
I don't see anyone bottom right.
What is?
No.
I don't see anyone.
Okay, hold on.
Really, I see everything. Very strange.
I don't see my token.
Okay.
Yeah, no. If I refresh, everyone's there.
Okay, well,
Right.
bottom right.
Refresh.
Oh my God, Max, did you really go with that picture? I thought you were joking. Oh,
Mario.
God. I have to put
He
that
likes
in Conka.
mushrooms.
I have to put that in Conka.
We're gonna get sued by Nintendo.
I put an L over the M.
Yeah, I see
That's
We're
it.
fair
good.
use.
We're so
Uh,
good.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Anya's just like, yeah, I see a short dude and some red thing, and oh my God, what the hell is that giant freaking lizard? Drac, you better run. He might eat you.
Upon hearing the mention of a giant lizard, he'll literally just push past Alphonse, and he'll come up to here and he'll go, "Wow, you're right. That is a pretty damn big lizard. You want some lizard for dinner, I guess?"
Hey, no one talks about my lizard like that. Like futz with Havel like he's a phone, like trying to where's the on button?
I don't know, Drac. That lizard looks kind of rotten. Think we should find something else to eat.
He kind of looks a bit and looks at Lario and the tiefling. I mean, you could still probably eat the lizard. I mean, I've eaten a lot of things. Trust me, I've eaten a lot worse than that.
I'm not a rat. I don't eat moldy old lizard.
Are we just looking at each other while they talk about
Right.
Alphonse's face is drained of all blood. He's just like taking half steps back. No. And he turns around and like takes a half running step and slips in the mud. Stop her!
where
No,
you
stop
go-
her! Her! And he's pointing straight at Leanne. She can't touch me. She points to the paint on his face. She can't touch me. Right? Yeah. We're fine. We're fine.
So, what brings a trialee into this territory?
Business. Trialese business. I don't need to tell you.
You know, I know we've had our issues, but trialees are allowed to recruit other members of the Empire in aiding their trial.
Yes, of course. Of course. Yeah. Here
So
you can
why
see
would you
my
not
wonderful Anya and Dronk. Yeah.
So what exactly is it you're doing?
I don't need to answer that.
I'm afraid you do. You see that giant lizard?
Seems like an Empire lizard to me.
You see the magic familiar following him? That's recording this entire situation and broadcasting it.
Wait, the Empire is a dual-party consent system of recordings and scribes.
Well, unfortunately, it's religion-based, so...
He swears under his breath.
She's got you there, man. But hey, I didn't know I was gonna be on camera. I would have done my hair or something.
Drek he'll just kind of wave his pawn and say, "Hey, Mishka."
So, here's the important question on the matter. Why exactly are you here?
Why are you here, huh? Why you're interfering in Trialee's business? That doesn't seem befitting of someone of your stature.
Oh, well, I just happened to stumble upon you. If you may recall...
You
I
have a
had
habit of that one.
Yes, and most importantly, I was inside of the Stone Thief not only an hour ago. Truly unfortunate that I was spat out here, huh?
Yeah, very, very incredibly.
Seems like bad
unfortunate.
luck.
So,
Well, it's been a pleasure. I hope to join your ranks soon. Actually, I forgot something this way, and he like points off to the left. I think draw clear the way. Let's go look for it.
Drek will roll his eyes. So they're going this way?
That's what
Or
he
are they going?
gestured. Yeah.
Okay.
Whoa, 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 wait. We're both here. Where are you going, red thing?
You
right.
know what a tiefling is.
Do I?
You
Yes.
know what? Actually, now that you pose it like that.
Were there tieflings in the other setting?
Yes.
I mean,
Ain.
Anya's originally from this timeline.
Yeah. Ain't the tiefling.
Oh right, I totally forgot.
Leanne, let's
I mean, I don't know her name. That doesn't mean I have to be nice to her. I can still call her Red Thing if I want.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know, it's better to travel in packs if that giant bird over there is, you know, means anything.
Caw.
Yeah. Is that an actual word uttered by a giant lizard for once?
Raza's going to turn around and just look at the bird. Yeah, how far can I get just walking?
I mean, there's
Right, that bird does look a little fresher than the lizard.
why is my ping?
Drek will
Oh, there we go.
he'll
You can-
kind of look.
You're free to like hobble over to the side.
I have been wanting chicken. Maybe we
Yeah.
can fry it.
Skin nice and crispy. you
No,
know?
no. Comrades, we must be off this way immediately.
Surely you could spare time for a meal.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, I could
just
spare
ate.
time for a meal.
Just ate.
I'm a wonderful
Ah.
shape, you know.
Drek is.
I'm
Anya, you know, it's been like hours since you ate.
Yeah,
Your
no, I-
benefactor's being
no,
odd.
no.
Yeah, I don't care what this dude says. I could do for some soup.
He'll just start scrambling, try to scramble up this little. I don't know. How tall is this?
Like 5-7 feet.
Yeah, he's gonna try and climb up this thing.
Oh, by the way, Leanne Morans. Let's lacerate her. Pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you, red thing, Leanne.
Is it a check to climb up these walls?
I'm Anya, and the rat over there is Drek. Don't listen to this asshole. He doesn't know how to
Alphonse
speak
will
common,
hiss through
apparently.
his teeth. You guys are under my command, remember?
Yeah, but you know what they say, the brain is the second stomach, and I'm hungry.
Useless. Yeah, I suppose we could stay for a light meal.
Okay.
It must be stated that as a fully instated legislator, I do have some sway more than you.
You're also the one supplying food, so I'm more inclined to listen to you right now. Let's eat.
Yeah, more of a group effort.
Okay.
Admittedly, we
Okay,
probably
I don't-
could just sit back and let Raza handle it.
I don't know how to ping, but I want to climb up to
X
this
plus
rock.
left click. Yeah, out of combat, you slowly shamble your way up. The big rock is like staring towards where the noise is, and goes back to whatever eggs or nestlings it's taking care of.
I cannot climb up this side. It's saying I'm colliding with a wall.
That
So
makes
there we go. Thank you.
Does this thing, it sees me, right?
Yeah, but
It knows I'm here.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's like it picked its nest for a reason. It goes back to just what it was doing. You can see it's eating like a recent catch, preparing to feed either itself or a nestling.
Is that what the dame is called now?
He's just hunting. I can kind of tell these things.
I would hope so when he decides to start climbing a mountain.
Yeah, it's that or he's gonna try to fight it. He likes to be the biggest baddie in the room. Fingers
Isn't
crossed.
hunting and fighting the bird the same thing?
I mean, he could be hunting for just an egg.
Now,
There are a lot of
My
mushrooms
strength-
out here.
my strength is 18.
Yep.
Raza has punier muscles than Leanne.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot to make up for.
Are you telling me you want to just leap across this gap and tackle this bird?
I mean, tackling the bird would be a bonus. I just want to get to the ledge. Because I know the bird will engage me after anyways.
All right, DC 25.
DC 25. That's difficult.
At this level, not particularly.
Okay. Can I go ahead and throw a feral survivor on there? It's been a while.
Yeah,
But I think
you
we
can.
all-
Yeah, you have survived a lot.
We all understand. Gosh. Oh, our boy's
Success.
back.
With your giant legs, larger than they have been before, and leap across, tackling into the bird. You hear a large and fairly on-key scream as the bird topples off and revealing the dame, who is covered in feathers and bird poop and
Just the worst.
nestling stuff. She's been nearly force-fed like 2 or 3 times now, thrown up
Ugh.
stuff. The bird, of course, is going to turn around and just in a grapple, like swipe at you a bit and then like fly off a bit, screaming because you're disturbing its nestling.
Of course.
Yeah, disturbing. That's the word for it.
It's very protective, Dame. You should really be thankful to have such a caring parent.
Yeah, I'm feeling like a rebellious teen.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he did try pushing you out the nest so you could fly too. Then it pulled you back up when you didn't. It's been fun.
Yep.
You want to tell us how you got here?
Oh god. Let's see. Weren't the rocks the things that were also in the stairs?
No, those were
Okay.
archivolts.
Ah, okay. So when we were kind of teleported out of the Stone Thief, I guess the dame ended up in the forest near here, or possibly dropped in the river below the nest, where her normal clothing and finery looked a little bit like wet, bedraggled plumage. And this bird went, clearly, nestling, and just kind of picked her up and stuffed her in the nest. And has been trying to treat her like a baby bird ever since, and the dame's just, like, not quite sure how to make it stop.
Of course, the bird has a tragic backstory where it lost its nestlings, but, we can move on from that.
Good, yeah.
Does this thing really want to go? I don't think it does.
It really doesn't, right? But it's trying to scare you off as best it can.
Raza looks fucked up. He's got like scars up and down his neck where he was like dragged by dogs, right, for a quarter of a mile. And then he's got like black glass embedded in one of his legs from where he stepped on a mine. But he is absolutely there to steal this baby chick.
Does
And,
Raza remember the dame? Or at this point, he's like, I'm here to steal whatever this thing is.
There's no telling. It's imperceptible.
Raza was hunting the dame for so long.
That's true. Yeah, Dame. This is Raza, but you know, we really haven't sized him up yet. He's bigger.
Great.
Oh.
Okay. It's like the rabid dog that everyone tells you is a great family pet just suddenly crossed 100 pounds.
Yeah.
140 pounds. Great.
This. Oh no, is that the name?
I don't know who else could scream so on key like that.
No, that's
Hi,
a
Raza.
giant bird. Do you need glasses?
Not in the air, in the nest.
Yeah, that's her.
Ah, great. Right.
And now she's stealing all this thunder.
Again.
I think I should get in the shot. Cover me.
Lorio leaps down into the gorge. Lorio, as an urban acolyte, I think that's a constitution check as you jump down this like 15-foot thing to get in the shot.
Okay.
Okay, while he's doing that, Drek wants to try and jump onto the bird because he wants to like beat Raz at his own game.
All right, go ahead and make your own check. Lorio, you do not like you stumble in the mud and get all dirty.
I unfortunately cannot cover you from your own lack of footing.
It's okay. This will look like I was just in battle. It'll be great.
At 22.
Drek, that was a bit shy of a success. Like you momentarily grab onto the bottom of the bird and drag it a bit, and then like leap over to Raza, but the bird is, manages to detach and to get further away.
God damn it!
It's circling around, screaming, but staying out
Are
of
we in
range.
initiative?
No.
Are we in initiative? Oh.
It's
Okay,
flying
Lorio.
around, just squawking, trying, staying out of range of your weapons, but like trying to scare you off.
How high of a climb is this?
See, now you're in rushing water, covered in mud. Another DC 25, but it can be strength this time.
Okay.
Wait. Why did he fall? Why did he not make it?
Why did he not make it? Let's see. Because he... Well, let's see. He is level 5, and then he adds his 4 modifier, and he's not adding a background on this one. And he rolled a 6. So, yeah, he is struggling to get up there with you guys.
Damn it.
Okay. There's who else is down there? There's Anya. There's
Audie and
Drek is
Leanne are
up here.
just kind of watching over there, and the rest of you guys are all, I guess, vying for the dame and or the
I have an
bird.
idea. I have an idea.
Yeah,
Can the bird see me from where I am?
it's definitely not focused on you.
Well, Anya has wings and feathers and looks soft and fuzzy, right? She's kind of big, but so is the bird. Could I try and
yourself
distract?
as a nestling?
Can I distract? Have you ever seen how soft a moth is?
Okay.
Can I try and distract the bird to get it to think that I'm a nestling?
Yes. Do you want to though?
I mean, I don't know. It sounds like there's someone over there they're trying to save. I guess I'll just bring the bird over here.
Having been a nestling for a little bit, I don't think you want to be a nestling.
Well,
But I
mean,
would like out of the nest, so
Yeah.
you.
Do you want to stay a nestling or do you want to get out of the nest?
I would like to be out of the nest. I'm
Well,
just
that's what
saying.
I'm gonna
I thought.
scoop.
You don't want to
I'm
be
gonna-
in the nest.
Wait,
I'm
Raza,
gonna scoop the dame.
Yeah, throw her down here. I'll catch her. It's not that I can't get up. I wanted to be down here.
Covered in mud, vines, and streaming water.
Yeah. I'll heroically catch her.
How well can you dive,
Well, real good.
Dame?
That charisma
Me?
check is me trying to be a nestling.
Let's see. What would that be? Diving. Either strength or dexterity. Okay.
I don't
Prob-
imagine that Raza would be the actual would be the one to actually throw you off, right? He's just gonna stand between you and the bird until the bird gets the message, and if everybody else wants to distract
Bird
it,
has a
and
new baby.
The bird has, in this time of you guys fighting over who's going to take this.
I don't
did
see
aim.
Drek or Anya.
Well, Anya's under a bird. Drek is next to you, and it's hard to see because he kind of blends into the rock.
Right? Yeah, is that the same token? I tried to make a highlighted one.
No, that's
No, there's orange. I
yeah, the
there's
rock
orange.
has just
There's
kind of
orange.
swooped and grabbed Anya, who just let herself be taken back to one of the decoy nests.
I'm sure she knows what to do, how to handle herself. So Raza is just going to
Prophet Dame, jump down.
yeah, he's just gonna jump down as well. He's not gonna hold the dame's hand or anything. He's just gonna jump down.
Catch you, Dame. As long as Raza, look, make sure we're in the shot.
Drek will hop over here.
I guess I'm jumping down too.
Drek, this is the strangest dwarf you have ever seen. Just all, pretty much mostly bald, except for the head. Very primped up. Makeup has been ruined, but a lot of the waterproof stuff is still holding up.
What do you mean mostly bald?
A lot dwarves otherwise have, facial
Shaved.
hair, armpit hair, arm hair.
Okay. I'm like,
shoulder
excuse
hair,
you.
leg
What do you
hair.
mean?
Nose hair,
He'll just
stomach hair.
he'll just give a random sniff, and he'll just go, you are not ripe.
How dare you?
No, I'm going to choose to take that as a compliment. Thank you. I've done the best I can while trapped in this nest.
I would have figured you would have killed the bird already, or did you eat the eggs?
With what? Pray tell, what would I have killed the bird?
You're a dwarf. Don't you have you got fists, right?
Sir, I am an opera singer.
He just kind of goes, oh, good. That's exactly what this age needs, a prima donna dwarf, and he'll just hop down.
Alright,
Hey,
I'm jumping
hurry
down.
up.
Wait. Raza's not looking. Come on.
Okay, am
I'm
I
not
jumping?
looking. I'm sort of enjoying the water for a
Alright.
moment before walking to shore.
As Dame jumps down and Loria just walks away, leaving her to splash in the water because she's no longer in camera shot.
Wow.
Drek will swim back, and he'll
Wow.
he'll just grab on, prima donna.
Thank you, kind sir.
Prima donna.
And then he'll swim like a little ratty does.
There we go.
Well, we found the dame, at least.
Oh, Leanne, thank God.
Yeah, I'm glad to see you. There's still one more circumstance that came from this.
What?
Well,
There's a terrain wall.
One of their companions let themselves get picked up by the bird and
Not going
carried
back
off.
to the nest.
Yeah, Raza gets back to the spot where everyone was originally standing, sees that Anya's missing, and then starts licking the air again.
I
Oh.
swear, every time I gotta deal with it.
No.
He just he tries to yell up to Anya, Anya, will you quit playing around?
I was trying to distract the bird.
Yes, well now we gotta rescue you because we already rescued the dwarf thing. Are you sure that's a dwarf? Looks like just a very rotund halfling.
He's
Are
one of
you-
our prophets, you know.
It remains to be stated. But, are you just... What type of species are you?
Is Leanne saying that to Drek, correct?
Yeah.
He goes, I am a ratkin.
Hmm.
And you're just having this conversation while Anya's getting preened by a giant bird.
You
You-
willingly got yourself preened by a giant bird.
You said you could handle it. He just kind of puffs up his chest a little bit. Yes,
Well,
noble warrior rat at your service.
well, I would hope that the rest of the rats are not so judgmental.
Oh no, they're hella judgmental. They're worse than me.
Oh.
I'm actually, been out in civilization, so trust me, I'm not as bad as you think. And he just starts trying to climb up again. He's like,
I love it. Like a bunch of like stigmatized, ostracized people that are just actually a little bit racist.
Okay, so Dane, do you think this area is enough of a clearing to set up camp for a bit?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? I have a barking dog here.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Grizz strikes back.
Yeah, something like that.
So, do you think this clearing is good enough to set up camp for a bit?
As long as the bird doesn't come back.
Well, I'm assuming, judging from what they wanted to do with the bird, that... I miss Lucian. I really do. At least he would just shoot the bird and get it over with.
That's true.
I can certainly attempt so if you want.
Give me a good old check to scare away this bird again. It knows this is not its original nestling. It's kind of just coping.
Oh no.
Okay. I would like to use strength instead of my charisma because Drek is going to essentially hit. He's gonna try and break this log right in front of him, and he's gonna scream really loud when he does it.
All right.
And I'm going to use my fighter.
That's a cool dice. Die.
Yeah, you kind of like punch over a nearby small tree, and the giant bird just kind of lights up with a bunch of feathers falling off of it from how sudden it takes off, and just flies off. Anya has been like her moth feathers have been like preened and like plucked in with new feather plumage as well.
Drek will he'll just help Anya up.
I don't think I want to eat chicken anymore.
Well, I guess we could eat. And he kind of fumbles in like a pocket somewhere in his armor. I guess we can eat more of these rations.
As they are all separated up, and Alphonse has been hiding in the forest nearby, another familiar face comes from up the path. I'm kind of out of breath, and she looks ahead. Is that Leanne I see?
Of course, Laria. Aldwin!
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, it's Leanne. Leanne, I would love to catch up. Have you seen a group traveling this way? There's that Trilese guy, if you remember. He's being accompanied by two people.
Somewhere in this area.
They're all sworn to the cult of the Devourer. I've been hunting them down.
Oh, they're all part of that. Well, I know where two of them are. The third one,
Oh my gosh, classic Leanne. I knew I could rely on you.
Yeah, here they come, actually. Let's, wait and ask some questions before we take any action, though.
She already has like her hand on her baton, about to pull it out. What? You could see she's choking back the words. You're under arrest.
We're under arrest.
No one has said those words.
Oh.
It's the brain words. You two. I see you're doing well. I see we won't be eating the bird, but I can certainly make something rather filling, at least. Should you all be willing to do a bit of foraging?
That sounds agreeable. Can't be anything worse than rations.
Yes. And I would love to take this time, especially as I imagine the dame would love to make use of the water nearby to freshen up.
Absolutely, you know me so well.
And perhaps you two could bring back your friend for the meal.
Yeah, I'll go grab him. And Anya like tramps over and grabs him by the collar. Come on.
I was looking for something over here. What are you doing? I told you to let me get out of here. Aldwin, so many legislators in one area. What are the odds?
Yeah, what are the odds? This is kind of weird.
Me, Aldwin. Oh, it just the whole gang's here.
When Leanne says that everyone's gonna get ready for a break, like an old dog, Raza slumps out of the car and starts walking back to the water.
Yeah, yes.
Well, there goes our camera.
We were going to start foraging for some food, and I figure us free legislators should prep up the camp together. After all,
I mean, I'm not legislator yet.
Oh, come now. Surely we could be cordial and assume you've already made great headway into your trial.
He just blinks past his like mostly ruined paintings of being in a trial. He's like, yeah.
Of course. So, come, let's set up camp.
He walks like a man walking to his own beheading.
But that's not all I'm going to do. I'm going to use my astounding figurines, which is a rook.
Oh,
We got a small one-room tower to use as our camp.
that's cool. How big is this tower?
It's a small one-room tower. I don't know.
All
It's
right.
probably like 25 feet tall. It's a watch post. Just one big room with a flight of stairs up to the top, I assume.
It probably reminds you guys a lot of the Bahu Wizard's snail tower.
Oh, that's cute.
All right.
Just less moist.
There's our shelter. Aldwin, could you be so kind as to gather firewood?
Of course. She starts, like, you there. What's your name? She pointed at Lario.
Oh, sorry to like put out a cigarette, taking a little smoke break from, the camera being away. Oh, what can I do for you?
I could use a hand getting some firewood.
Oh, that's I think Raza needs me. I get a sense for it when it just backs away.
Useless. Hey, Moth. Anya, yes. You
Who's
look
talking to me?
Aldwin.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Name's Aldwin. Would love some
Mhm.
help with this firewood.
Yeah, sure.
You and her, collect. Although you don't remember telling her your name, but you collect up some firewood.
Well, Anya's used to people knowing her name,
You have some beautiful plumage there. I don't think that's yours.
Well, it was given to me, and I would feel bad taking it off. Might offend her.
Dame, you're welcome to go clean up.
Thank you.
There's actually a
Sadly-
small bath on the tower, but needs to be filled.
I think it's worth.
Well,
Right. Ratkin. I believe he introduced you as Dro.
No, it's Drek. He just kind of shakes his shoulders a bit. People tend to not say my name correctly. Most of the time they get a sword in the belly. So,
Well, Drek, could you be so kind as to gather various mushrooms and such?
he will go, I'll do more than that. And he'll start kind of go into the forest, and he will actually look to hunt some game.
Excellent.
And we'll-
You know what? Do you have any icon relationships, Drek?
Yes, I do. I have a 5 and a 6 with the Emperor, but that's negative. And I have a conflicted with the Orc Lord at 5.
Yeah, let's go ahead and turn one of those into some game. Go ahead and take your pick.
I will use my Emperor 5. I'll use that to make it some game.
And what complication do you have in your HUD?
I want to say, for all intents and purposes, it takes him a lot longer than it usually would to catch a particular animal. I would say, is there a particular animal that the Emperor kind of claimed as like his animal, so like nobody can hunt it?
Emperor actually specifically stocked and bred up a species of deer that were crossed with cow, so they're just really chonky and spotted.
Yeah.
But they kind of got wild and loose, and they've been roaming around this area.
Yeah, that is. I think that is what Drek brings. And it's very peculiar to see this little rat carrying like a very large, chunky cow deer.
Some of the problems with hunting them is that cows have 2 stomachs, but these have 2 hearts, so you gotta take out both of them.
So yeah, he's just covered in like the blood and such, and he's like kind of struggling because it's big. He's like, son of a.
Oh,
And he just kind of plops it in front of Leanne. Do I need to help you, butcher?
no. I handle butchering just fine. Just give me one moment. Oh no, Lario. My dear associate. Apparently, we're in a bit of a situation here. So just make sure Havel is ready, just in case, okay?
what's this red square now? Sorry, I had to step away.
That's okay. Leanne has used her astounding figurines to deploy a small one-room tower. And you are upstairs, and someone has brought you some water for a bath.
Okay, so I'm just having a bath and everyone else is wandering around outside?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright. I'm gonna butcher this. Let's get a fire going. Let's start cooking.
While cooking, Aldwin will come up to you and assist and just be like, Leanne, They are criminals.
Here's the thing. They don't know that we know. Except for one of them, right?
Yeah, the one that doesn't look like he's had blood in his face for like 3 hours.
Well, if we're lucky, he'll pass out from a lack of blood.
I've caught him trying to escape like 5 times now.
Well, bring him over here to help cook then.
Hey, Alphonse! What? I got another chore for you. Oh, great.
Yes, I could certainly use an extra pair of hands. I'm not used to having this much meat to work with at once. So, Aldwin, we'll discuss the matter once we have everyone's meals prepared.
I'm sorry, I missed the question.
All Leanne said was, one, hey, I could use a hand.
Yep.
I'm not used to having this much meat.
Yeah, I heard that part.
2, we'll discuss what we were talking about, Aldwin, once everyone has their meal prepared.
Okay.
Is there a fire going?
There is a fire going now.
Okay. Once it gets dark, Raza will come out of the water to the fire.
Yeah, the sun is set a bit. The bird hasn't come back. There's a tower here that Raza probably couldn't even fit inside.
Oh. I'm stuck. The terrain wall got me again.
No problem. They're preparing a nice big roast. Raza's looking at this like, I could probably eat that by myself, but like it's meant to feed everyone.
No, he's not even acknowledging the food. He sort of curls up by the fire in the same way that he was curled up in the cart, except the eye closest to Alphonse, you can see that the second eyelid just sort of like slides away, so he's watching without blinking.
If Alphonse could lose more blood out of like his extremities, he would. But at this point, I think he's probably just like has been scared for so long. It's not even like new. You know, he's in a zone of like, oh, this is just life right now.
L'Oreal is just whispering to the producers, trying to catch them up so they can edit it later.
Alright. I want to use my Emperor 6 and just make this roast fucking delicious.
Oh, it's so good. What spices did you have on you, and what one thing did you scrounge from the nearby area?
Alright, so. You remember, back in Axis, there's the gladiatorial pits. And do you know what one of their famous secret recipes is? A sauce that they'll put on the meals that they offer, during the combats, of course, which is just the faintest hint of blood mixed with a bit of honey and a hint of pepper, giving it a flavorful profile similar to that of I don't fucking know, dude. Help me.
That sounds like a dwarvish recipe. That sounds good.
Yeah. A bit like blood pudding almost.
Delicious.
Yeah, if you want to clot it up, it's just apple cider vinegar until it seizes up and then loosens again.
Yeah.
Delicious.
And then something I foraged nearby, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Inside of the nest of the bird, they accidentally used within their nesting a rare herb known for replenishing the stamina of those who ingest it. And that's going to be grinded up and sprinkled on top of the roast.
All right. As always, Leanne is capable of churning out food that would be fit in some of the better restaurants in Naxos, out in the wilderness. everyone except Alphonse thoroughly enjoys himself. Alphonse really doesn't eat much or drink much. Alwyn produces like a small bottle of liquor for people to enjoy. Nothing too strong, of course, but just like a light beer almost.
Raza doesn't eat. Instead, he licks over Lario's plate, sort of as a polite gesture to the chef. He sort of switched to that mode where he eats like one big meal, like a month.
Yeah. What's the big meal you had this month?
I don't know, but it may or may
The
not have
Wolf
been
Master.
Alphonse's size.
The wolf.
May or may
Sorry.
not
Oh
been
no,
what?
no. The Wolf Master was like in the middle of the war, right? So
Couple
Who knows what
hundred
the last-
miles away, Callie's Leanne senses are tingling and she knows she's missing a good meal.
whatever that last meal was, it may or may not have been Alphonse sized.
That's fair.
Alphonse
Alright.
senses this.
Drek, Anya, Alphonse. It's wonderful to have you all here, but I've been hearing talk of a certain group apparently that's been active in these parts. Goes by the name of Cult of the Devourer.
Drek and Anya know that this is a faction that they have been aligned with, and that they are not a popular one.
Drek will simply kind of look at Anya, and then he'll just go, "I've heard a bit about them." He just kind of shrugs.
Oh god, there's politics.
Alphonse perks up and he's like, "Yes, actually, now that we're talking about it, that is what I've been investigating, and these two have been helpful in that."
I was just curious. Well,
I'm sure Aya can answer all your questions.
yes. Anya, what do you know of the Devourer cult?
Anya's headset was dead when Anya was introduced to the plot.
Please go.
You and Drek work for the Cult of Devourer, like when you saved what's the kid's name?
James or whatever.
James,
Okay,
James.
got it.
have been following around Alphonse, doing nefarious things and for the cult's benefit, with him like mostly guarding him and keeping him safe. And now Leanne and Aldwin are like investigating.
Yeah, I don't know. This dude hired us to help him with his hijinks, and she points over to Alphonse.
She swears violently. that just jokester.
I don't joke, Reformed people such as I don't joke.
See, what a funny moth person.
I was just curious. After all, it's not well known, but I'm part of a cult too, So I figured
You're the
it's
leader
good
of
to meet the
ours.
others.
But we don't prefer
Mario,
to call it.
do
we
not
don't-
call
we don't
yourself a
prefer
cult.
Yeah, I know, right?
And no, that is not the group I was referring to. But, as is normal tradition, it's best if you learn others' beliefs. If they coincide enough, you can typically assimilate without too much issue and gain extra power,
The bird has returned to its nest, and it's looking at you guys at the fire like, they're still here.
I'm gonna take all the twigs and shit that she put in my fur out so she doesn't pick me up again.
Drake will simply go, well, regardless of our business and your business, I'll have to say this stew has been delicious. Far better than the stuff in Access. Please, that place is terrible.
Oh, bold claims. Those have been my stomping grounds for at least a few years.
Wow, Drac, way to insult the host.
He kind of looked at Anya and he goes, if she's been in the Empire long enough, then she knows that the only thing that Access makes is just good gladiators.
You truly have not looked deep enough, then.
Yeah,
I've looked deep enough.
No, you haven't, especially not in the culinary arts.
Oh.
He kind of goes, well, it's kind of hard to be in the culinary arts when you're, basically a slave fighter in one of the various arenas. Kind of hard to do that.
That is rather difficult, yes. But I imagine you didn't stay to look around deeper, though.
Of course not. As soon as I earned my freedom, I left and became a soldier for hire.
Oh. And so that's why you're working for the Cult of the Devourer, then.
Dun, dun, dun.
He'll just kind of chuckle again. He goes, gold is gold at the end of the day, isn't it? It, keeps my belly full. It gives me shelter.
Oh. So you're willing to take away other people's shelters and then throw them into a place of pure hellish design just for gold?
Drek will just kind of scoff a bit, and he'll go, that's exactly what your emperor did to my people. For if anything, you could call it an eye for an eye scenario. And he just kind of glares at Leanne.
Dun, dun, dun.
Glario is like dragging the camera to like point at this, like, oh, this is good, this is good.
Drek will just kind of point his sword at Larion and says, keep interrupting, and they will see a murder on that flying screen thing.
Dun, dun, dun. That'd be awesome.
They've had to
Imagine
replace
the
this thing
viewership.
like 5 times.
What do you think this crowd following Raza has been watching for?
I must admit, you may just be for hire, and what you are actively perpetuating is... Have you ever been to Dungeon Town?
He actually has he been
Your
inside
choice.
the stone? You know what? Yeah. Yes, I've been there. An interesting place.
And yet you're willing to put more people in there? Knowing full well every peril Dungeon Town faces.
He kind of looks around and he goes, we just had to deal with a giant bird. Me and Anya have dealt with tons of other dangerous things, and I'm sure you have also dealt with dangerous things. The world itself is a dangerous place. How is it any different inside of the Stone Thief? At least in the Stone Thief, there is some form of survivability. And you know what? What do you call it? What do you... Emperor, your Imperials say? There's strength in togetherness.
Well, There's a lot to be stated on the matter, but Drek, there's a reason why people like you and me are out here. Why we handle creatures such as those birds. What the Stone Thief causes about is people who only know how to farm, who barely know the way to hold an axe, and throws them into the most deadly place I can think of. You can call it survivability if you wish, but are you not surviving out here?
My people survive anywhere. That is why I say an eye for an eye scenario.
Right. Alphonse, surely you have something to chime in on this revelation of your associate being a part of this group you've been investigating.
Why, there was no other person better suited to investigate the group than one who was part of them.
Dun dun dun.
Besides, Leanne, you were once in a cult. Everyone has a chance at reformation, right?
Yes, but mine was always for a noble cause. I see nothing noble about feeding cities to a living dungeon.
The better reason for us to stop it with those knowledgeable of how they operate.
If that's the way you wish to put it. Aldwin, I'll leave the matters to you. I'll support your choices.
She will get up and like, once I might have looked to my, elder Leanne for her decision, but now I am a legislator of my own regard. Anya, Drek, Alphonse, for your crimes of assisting the cult of Devourer, for your crimes of framing an attack against Elvish lands on the dwarves in order to perpetuate a war. You are under arrest. Alphonse will get up. What? No. What proof do you have? And she'll pull out her own much smaller scrying orb that looks a lot like what Lorio has. I've been trailing you for 3 months in order to catch a proof that you've been misusing our trialese infrastructure as a way to skirt Empire law and achieve your own devilish matters. Max, say dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
Alphonse will get up and like clutch something he's been wearing. No. I didn't come this far. I didn't come this far just to be stopped by yet another... This one, always there. He is clutching a weird alien skull on a pendant. And as it starts to glow, the bird over in the distance starts growing in size.
Oh no.
And we will enter combat.
Dun dun. Oh, well, we know where Raz is going. He's a big animal.
Roll on. Raza, you're first up. Lario. Poor Lario.
Oh. Raza stands up. So he doesn't use a weapon now. Instead, he has a cloak made of what looks to be shed dragon skin, and a series of geometric tattoos all along his sort of like fists and forearms. And as he stands up, you see this sort of like snake-like snapping of the jaws as he looks up at the big bird with expectation. I think I'm gonna hold an action to just jump up at the thing the first chance I get, like a cat.
Okay, so you're holding your action for under what condition?
The giant rock comes within range of an uncontested jump from my current position.
Okay. Dame, it is now your turn.
Okay. Am I still in the tower?
Your choice.
I feel like by now I would have probably come down.
Probably for dinner, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. In which case, let's see. I would like to.
We'll move the tower over here, actually. That's probably where your campfire was.
I feel like screaming at this bird.
There's the fire.
Nice.
Alright. Bold
So-
move.
Yeah, I'm going to battle chant it. And we'll see how that goes. Not well, I'm guessing.
Yeah, that is a miss, unfortunately, and you do no damage.
Hang on. Natural odd. Would anybody like some temporary HP?
Sure.
There we go.
I'm in remarkably close stabbing range of a
Well, it is now the giant rock's turn. If Callie were here, her hand would be glowing. This bird is now a demon. Callie is not here, however. Moreover, wow. Oh, okay, I see. It's going to open up with a screech attack, which, let's see, how many targets can it do? 3 targets. Anya, Dame, and Raza are all being screeched at. Anya and the Dame are both hit for 15 psychic damage. The screech is so horrendous it shakes the insides of your brains, and you're now vulnerable until the end of the battle. Leanne, it is now your turn.
Oh, that makes
No,
sense.
it doesn't.
Yeah,
It doesn't
I'm
move.
No? Right.
Son of a bitch.
Kind of screeched. Right. Oh. Step 1. Forceful apprehension.
Okay. Yeah. That's very effective.
Look, I'll be honest with you. He caused the bird to happen. I'm considering him an enemy.
Yeah, that's fair. Are you actually hitting him, or are you just apprehending him?
A bit rough, but not trying to kill or anything.
Yeah, he's unarmed outside of his pendant. You you pretty quickly grab his arms and tie him up behind him. He's like, God damn it, God. Bird, you're supposed to come. Bird.
Well, with that handled,
You two, help! It is his turn, but that he can't really do anything. He is denied access to his item. Drek, it's now your turn.
Okay. Drek is pulling out his blade, and let's see. I think he's going to, run up to here, and he is going to rage, and he's going to try and Hit Leanne.
Ooh.
Believe a 32 hits? Yep, there we go.
That is a hit. A big old sword from a small rat.
One more thing. I'm going to use my... Let's hope this one works. I'm going to use my racial ability. 20.
Good.
20
good.
versus...
Congrats. After an entire campaign of failing to use it, you managed to use it.
Okay, since it says 2 nearby enemies, I'm assuming Aldwin... Does Aldwin get hit with it?
Aldwin does get hit.
Okay, and...
She
Okay,
coughs. Oh, that's terrible. Oh.
not only that,
you ate the same thing I did.
And they're also dazed until the end of my next turn.
Okay, well, let me remind myself what dazed is. -4 penalty to attacks.
That's my turn.
She's waving away the stench as she tries to bonk you on the head with her baton. But as a reminder, this is at -4. Does a 20 hit?
20 hit? No, sir.
She would have hit you, but the stench is just throwing her off.
What if I had a +1?
No.
So a 21? No.
Alright.
In fact, it looks like 24 was, anyway. Anya, it's now your turn.
So I'm trying to be arrested right now, right? But then there's
Yeah.
also like the bird and stuff. So Anya is.
You really do have your choice here. I'm gonna let you know.
Yeah, and I mean Anya is a reformed woman. She was once criminal, and now she is not. She doesn't consider herself a criminal. So she wouldn't resist arrest because there's possibility of trial, you know? She's got the money, she could get a nice lawyer, so she's not gonna resist arrest. She's not gonna attack Leanne or Aldwin.
Now you did just see Drek plunge a sword into this person.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah, so Anya's just like, Drek, what the hell are you doing? This was not part of the plan. Where is this bird?
Currently flying overhead here.
Okay. And it's being controlled by Alphonse, presumably?
Presumably.
Okay. So Alphonse hired us, or were we working with Alphonse?
You were hired by Alphonse. He was furthering the goals of your own group along with his own goals.
And we found out that, okay, cool. Yeah, Anya's kind of mad at Alphonse, actually. Because he kind of lied. She thought that he was doing good things. She's also kind of confused about what's happening and doesn't really know what to do because, you know, there's a lot of moving parts. So I think for now, until the situation is addressed a bit further, Anya will hold an action to attack the first person who tries to attack her.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a fair approach.
Lario, there's a confused moth. Their leader has been apprehended. Leanne's been stabbed. What do you want to do? There's a giant bird.
Oh, is that me?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
All good. I know it's a new character.
Yeah. All right.
Honestly,
I'm gonna
that
heal.
character.
I'm gonna heal Leanne.
You're gonna have to move next to her. You don't have the.
All right. That's my movement. I will move next to her.
I get healing.
And then we shall declare this rat evil. Sorry, it's been a while since I've targeted.
It's okay. T,
Alright,
double right click, alt left click.
I think I got it. We are smiting the evil from this.
That will hit me.
Lario, what does your smite look like?
Hey, you know what? You want to have some fun? You ever
Sure.
just want to go ape shit?
L'Oreal?
I noticed that you're rolling a d12, apparently. So what if I let you re-roll that because it was a poor roll and add another d12 to it?
Wait.
D12s? Yeah, it's a smite,
Yeah,
isn't
that's
it?
his smite. That's his smite evil.
Oh boy. Oh.
It's a once a day thing.
Yeah.
It's a once a day thing. And I did it specifically so that Lario, as a 5th level, didn't die in encounters where Raza was a 7th level.
That's fair.
Also, he has the d12 so he can re-roll, and then also his normal melee dice he can re-roll.
Reroll all of them but the 8?
I would roll
I mean,
anything under a 6.
Yeah, I would keep the 6.
And roll an additional one too.
So I'll reroll 1, 2, 3,
5
4,
five
and then
d12.
5. Okay.
5d12. That's good. That's good.
Alright, that is a total of 39 damage, and then plus Leanne's charisma modifier, which is
8.
So that is a total of 47 damage to Drek.
Okie dokie.
Oh, did you get that on camera?
The camera is currently pointed at the giant bird.
God damn.
Alright. Good job, Lario. It's now Raza's turn.
This thing is going to just sit there screaming at us, isn't it?
You are
It's
a
a
big.
bird. I'm not gonna tell you, like... It does what it
I'm gonna
do.
tell.
It is
Okay.
a bird.
I'm gonna tell you, its claws do look ripe for slashing.
I need that thing to come over if it's gonna slash. I need it over here. I spent an entire action prepping that. And now it's not coming over. I'm not very happy about that. Huh?
You could
So
go to
taunt
it.
I am gonna taunt it. I think I am. I think I want to.
Got any icon relationships?
I have a 6 with the druid.
Yeah,
That
piss
sounds
the
perfect.
bird off.
So basically the druid recognizes Raza as a force of nature now.
Yeah.
And she's like, that's just a thing. I can't, the elves didn't kill it. I can't,
I guess
And,
it's protected. It's hopefully endangered.
Yeah, hopefully it's in danger. So I think Raza sort of just sees much of the swamp is his domain,
Okay.
supposed to be his domain,
Okay.
but all of this really, right? Like who is going to stop him?
Look, we're running short on
So I
time. You taunt it, alright?
Yeah, he roars big like.
It is taunted to you.
Good God, Jesus. Okay, sorry about all that.
All good.
I'm gonna attack. Just come in with it.
It swoops in towards you, as you taunt it, and that is 26 against its AC. That's a hit as you take out a good chunk of feather and slash into it. But it's still up.
Okay. With a 6, could I have grabbed onto it?
Sure, you can be attached to it. You guys can have an aerial combat for all I care. It swoops up into the air with Raza. Alright, Dames, your turn.
That's my.
Okay. I'm
Is
going
an
to
angry
scream
rat?
at it.
Please help.
Huh?
Angry. There's a rat. He's barbarian raging. He can fucking one-shot me. Help!
All right, fine. The dame will turn around and do something about Drek. Let's see. What's she gonna do about Drek?
Gonna say he's a very nice rat and not do any of her bardic stuff on him.
No, she's gonna mock him.
Oh no.
Yeah, we're gonna vicious mockery at Drek.
Oh no, this poor rat.
She's pissed. There's now this bird here, and then there's this freaking rat person who's been giving her these snide comments and now just brought the bird back into her life. She's not a fan, and she's gonna freaking fail.
As she screams, the fire catches it and just kind of like explodes a bit. Although Leanne probably is just going to tell her to do it again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, before I have to do that, though, I have to pop this. And then, that. Ba-doop.
Okay,
I had to tap into my stored points for this.
we'll try again. There we go.
That's fine.
Yep, that'll hit me.
Oh, poor rat. Abandoned by all his allies.
I would like to use. I'd like to use my Emperor 6 to let me have a free rally.
No, it's for dinner tomorrow.
Because you're so hideously outnumbered and Anya has opted out of this fight, I will allow it. Go ahead and rally before taking that damage.
Yes, sir.
You can take a portion for lunch and just eat something else for dinner, I guess.
Should it be free or just normal?
Doesn't matter for you. Like, right? You have plenty of recoveries.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, fuck it. I'll just use my normal.
His rage giving him power, his anger against the Empire, regains some health before taking that 47 damage. However, he is being mocked, and if he misses, he will take his damage. The giant rock in midair is tussling with Raza from underneath, and they are swiping back and forth at each other. He is going to attack twice. The first is a miss, the second is a hit, and Raza's hit 30 damage, and is now has poison ongoing. I'm sorry that's not wrapped. And now it's Leanne's turn.
I'm still holding on, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Alright. I have a penalty to hit, but I think it's worth going for.
Swing, bada.
Swing and miss.
Mm-hmm.
Not even.
The stench just is really bad, man. It's hard. It's now Alfonso's turn. He's can't do anything. Drek, is now your turn.
Okay. And I'm going to pop. I'm popping Unstoppable. And I'm gonna hit Leanne again.
Don't.
Oh, that's actually pretty good.
Oh, that's a crit!
Oh, the crit. Oh boy.
Oh, the rat!
And since I have a thing, it's free.
Aldwin is going to look. This is her mentor, and she's looked at Leanne for a long time. She's going to pull that bit of pirate left and jump in front of the attack. Oh, and then land in a bloody pile next by Lorio's feet.
Oh, that was so good. Okay.
Aldwin.
Okay, that's
close.
that's my turn.
Aldwin, as she passes, is lashed out with her baton. No longer at a -4, but it just was never mind. She didn't do anything. Let's ignore that. Anya, is now your turn.
Jesus Christ. This doesn't help the situation being confusing, for Anya still.
Anya's like struggling back and forth to pick a side to pick. Am I a law-abiding woman? Am I a criminal still at heart? Why is that giant lizard fighting that chicken?
Yeah, I mean, did Dame try to hit Drek?
Yes. Maybe.
But she failed, right?
She failed.
She failed
You're
the
not...
first.
Wait,
Yeah,
she
she
did
failed
end up
the
hitting
first-
her. Yeah, Drek, yes.
Yeah, she did end up hitting me the second time.
This
yeah.
small, bald, dwarf halfling thing attacked your rat friend.
Yeah, and I'm really confused why you attacked my rat friend. Isn't this all his fault? And Anya points at Alphonse.
They attacked the rat.
Me!
Yeah, the rat stabbed him came up and assaulted him.
I know Drek stabbed Leanne, but that was out of like self-preservation. But
What?
isn't the root cause of all of our issues Alphonse?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who's been arrested?
who's been arrested, right? But he's
But he's the one who's paying us. So it's like if we don't save him and get away, we don't get our money. So
yeah, but is the money worth it?
for Drek it is. He's got little moss at home to feed.
Ew! I don't even want to know what those babies look like. Ew!
Are they moths yet? I don't think they're probably
You pie.
Well, they're probably more like larvae, I guess. They're like little rat larvae.
All right, pull it together, guys. We got 5 minutes.
I don't know. Hold action.
Okay, you hold action. Lorio, it's your turn. There's this bleeding girl at your feet, but the camera isn't on you.
I know, it's such a shame.
Is it even worth it?
But you gotta live to fight another day when it comes to this.
Aldwin gets a heal. Leanne, can you roll a free... Well, no, I'll just give her 50 health.
Wait. Can I attack with both of my fists in his turn? Main hand, offhand?
The way dual wielding works is if you roll a 2, you get to re-roll it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yes. Aldwin gets back up, having been patched up by Lorio's heal. Ha! He didn't help with the firewood, but I'll count this as even.
Oh my gosh.
Nope. No.
This is
sorry.
half damage
That
at
was a
least. That's
daily
still not
anyway,
bad.
so you couldn't have used it twice.
There's 2.
Oh.
There's a per battle and a daily.
You can use it twice per day?
Well, once per battle, I'm in once per day.
Once per day.
Oh, I understand. I understand. Drek, take half damage.
already did.
Raza, is now your turn.
There's a couple things going on with Raza now. There's like a big screech as through the air. It's high pitched and ear splitting. He rages for free. And then
You know
he
the
is
escalation
going.
die is only 2, right?
It says, oh damn, yeah, you're right. Okay, well, that's fine. I'll rage anyways. Yeah. Okay, and then I think yes, his attack is now a D12.
Okay, that's terrifying.
Mm-hmm. But only if I hit a natural even roll, and I think... Yeah, no, that's fair. I think for this, it's just going to be the rage basic attack atop the guy.
Unfortunately, not a crit, but likely a hit. Please remember to target. You smack him for 43 damage.
Hold on, that's not D12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus 8. There you go.
Yeah, not far off. Minus
Yeah.
another 10. Okay, Dame, it's now your turn.
Oh my god, this thing is beefy.
It is beefy. Ellen.
Is Ellen muted?
No, I am muted. Sorry. I'm gonna attack Drek again, I guess. Let's see. We're just gonna battle chant.
There we go.
Just gonna do this.
Let's see.
Oh, Raza, give me a normal save from last poison.
Oh yeah, I forgot to add it. I see you already got it.
Let's. I'd also like to give Leanne some more temporary hit points.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Drek, you were hit for 21 thunder damage, and meanwhile, Raza was hit with one of the attacks and then got screeched at and is now vulnerable as they continue to fight in midair. It is now Leanne's turn. We're removing Alphonse from initiative.
All right. Yeah. Do I go for it? I go for it.
Sorry.
And I'm not quite done on this matter. I'm going to disengage.
Nice.
Wow.
And I have a plan. Can I drag Alphonse with me?
Absolutely.
I'm activating punching a hole.
Okay.
From here over to there.
All right.
And
Are
I'm
you
just-
immediately moving through it?
Yep.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
And I'm closing the portal.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Get fucked. Oops.
Drek, is now your turn.
Okay. Drek will see that Leanne has taken his benefactor, and he'll squeak in a, you could all just kind of tell it's a very not nice word he said. And he says to Anya, Anya, forget this. And he's going to roll to disengage. And he failed. Fuck.
I don't.
I screwed up again. Anyway. Okay, so he can't move, but you know what? I can still hit. I'm just gonna stab you. Actually.
Wow, so that was like a fake out. It was like, forget this, we're leaving. Turn around, stabs.
Stabs behind him, nothing personnel, kid. Alright, where's the, go ahead. Yeah. Oh, not a crit. Thank God. Aldwin,
Almost. It was almost.
Aldwin is severely injured. But it is her turn, and she is going to look after her own skin. She's nearly gone down twice. She is going to roll a disengage and succeed and hobble off, trailing blood, hiding behind Lorio. And then she is going to use her strong lungs to shout at Drek.
Yeah,
Vulnerable.
that hits me.
That
So
means
anything 18 plus.
crits, yep. Anya. No, everyone seems to be ignoring you, Anya.
we need to get the hell out of here. Can I assist in his disengaging? Or like
L'Oreal won't stop him.
Pull
L'Oreal will not.
away, or...
He's not engaged anymore. But yeah, you can go grab him. And Alwyn's
not
like,
yet.
no, you're under arrest. If you don't come with us, I'll hunt you down myself.
Live to fight another day, Eldwin.
So is Anya pulling Drek away?
Yeah.
You know, she certainly held enough actions to be spry on her feet.
I mean, it's either that or we die fighting these people.
You know, you could just surrender. That's always an option.
Yeah, well, I mean, she would want to surrender, but it doesn't seem like Drek wants to.
No, you just hear him squeaking obscenities.
Yeah.
As you pull him away.
Yeah, no. I mean, Anya's bigger than him, so it's not like hard to pull him away and run.
Lario, you are next up in initiative. Are you letting them get away?
Yeah. I'll just pretend to be like, or
You're not on camera anyway.
Yeah, he's not on camera. He used his only good stuff, so he's just gonna tend to Eldwin and say, "Oh, yeah, we'll live to fight another day," you know. Some days you'll be in shot, some days you won't.
Leanne crushes the skull that Alphonse have, and the bird shrinks back down, dropping Raza and then flying off back to normal size it was. And Raza splashes into the pool.
Is there a shot of a full health L'Oreal, like helping almost dead Eldwin?
As Raza comes back up, probably. You're out of your heals, so you're doing some more manual tending.
I actually have 2 health potions from way earlier in the game.
And you haven't used them at all?
1 recovery plus 2d8, baby.
Doesn't have recovery, she'll get another 50 health. Raza pours in her mouth, and L'Oreal's just like shooting daggers out of his eyes, like I was helping her.
No, not in front of camera. He would not.
Yeah, that's true.
There's one for me too, apparently.
Right.
Because I was not planning to offer it to her. Somebody just snatches it out of Raza's hand, and he just grabs another.
That's that, Alphonse. Come, let's rejoin.
He just grumbles and, like, you know, you make your way back. Alright, Leanne, wrap us up.
You want me to wrap it up, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Alwyn, I would love to join you in hunting down the ones who got away. But I think your priority should be to return him and make sure that his crimes are committed.
Yes, I
They were
agree.
committed. You gotta... The crimes have been committed.
The cult of the Devourer isn't going anywhere. However, we do need to make a precedence that just because you're a trialee doesn't mean you're immune.
No, I think we can make sure he's stripped of that status.
And above all else, I would join you in hunting them down, but I have to find my dad.
I'm sure you will, Leanne. I'm sure you'll find him.
One can hope. Alright. So, we still have a nice tower.
It'll be the best place I've slept in a while.
Amen to that.
To the next town, or the Jade Spine Manor, whichever's closer, in the morning.
All right, let's wrap up session there. Thanks again for joining us, Death Metal. How do you enjoy guest start?
Of course, it's always fun to get to play. And also, it was just fun to almost kill Leanne. That was always very fun.
It was, it would have been, I pretty much was like, as many people as show up from the Star Stuff crew, I'm gonna run, YOLO. Sorry it ended up being like you against the world, but that's how the cookie crumbled. Well, you and a giant bird,
Yeah.
unlikely allies. Rumham,
Yes.
what do you like? Anyone you want to see again in the future?
I liked that you brought back a really obscure character that pretty much nobody knew about prior to this session, because he was only mentioned in one play-by-post session that you and Pow did that I wouldn't have even known about if it wasn't my job to put that play-by-post session into Conca. So that was pretty funny.
That's called world consistency.
Avengers level right there.
Yeah. So I thought that was.
Please join me at an
cool.
upcoming convention where I give a 2-hour monologue about my cinematic TSD universe.
Yeah. I thought that was cool, and I think bringing in like all the other older characters that we haven't seen in a really long time, like mentioning Kales and mentioning Aldwin, is really cool, because then it doesn't put all of the work that I put into organizing that Conca for nothing.
Yeah.
So I like that a lot, and I want to see more of that. I'm sorry, Drek, that I couldn't help you out, but that was a really morally gray situation for Anya. She really just didn't know what to do.
I kind of established Drek's reasoning, not just with the money, but also he just hates the Empire like so bad.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't
understandable.
realize that I would be playing Anya today until a couple hours before session, so I didn't have a lot of time to think about where she would fit in this setting. And my 1/6 that I had was with the Oni Baba, who I would maybe assume is like the Prince of Shadows equivalent in this.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't really think of a way to use that 6 with the Prince of Shadows to my advantage. So it was just Anya being hesitant to do
you could have used it to sneak off.
Yeah, she could have, but she can't leave her teammate. She's a reformed woman. And either way, sneaking or running away would be a crime either way still. So
Yeah, true.
Still not really. She's gonna have to go talk to her sponsor at Assassins Anonymous about that.
All right, let's hear from Ellen before the dog screams too much.
Oh God.
No, session was good. I hope to never see the bird again. But yeah, no, it was really fun to see some of these like old characters that we haven't, really had for a while. It was also kind of fun to get the little crossover, and I think that was one of our most chaotic battles to date.
That's true.
Everyone just kind of being like, "What am I doing? I don't even know what the wind situation is here." So that was good.
Either you deliver the Rock Adventure to me, or I deliver the Rock Adventure to you. That's my promise, Ellen.
Yeah, apparently. Hey, yeah.
Pow.
Yo, what up?
You got to execute some justice today.
Yeah. Admittedly, a bit forced on. Leanne has, despite her reservations that she might have currently, she still has her job to do, and she's not about to let Aldwin handle a bunch of criminals on her own. So, there's that. And maybe once they're all together, she can finally have the talk that she's been meaning to have. Nice to finally get that noble put back in binds. And, I'll admit, the Star Stuff crew being integrated is better than I thought it would be. That's not saying much, though. I was expecting the worst.
It was just fun, to wrap up that with having them, as many as were interested, pop in for one final, crossover. Max.
My favorite part was that I got to pick out his character icon and make it, I guess, core. What is it? What is it called?
Uh,
Uh,
what are you looking for?
like real, like candid, like it's
Canon.
lore, canon. Thank
yeah.
you.
Anyway, we're gonna change this image.
What? What? It's canon now.
Yeah, well, we're retconning it.
Oh. Okay. That's all. I also just a brand new kit. Didn't really know what I was getting
And
into at
you
all.
did great. Yeah, no. If the next 2 sessions will be you guys very quickly learning and playing new characters and then dropping them just like that. Seb, Roz is back.
Hi, Roz is back. Very modest introduction though. Not even a third of the kit at play really.
Don't forget to roll if you have your rage back.
Yeah, I have a d20 plus 3. I think. Oh my god, it just doesn't stop. It just doesn't stop. I think today's session was a lot of fun. It's always nice to see your work put out for others to enjoy, especially somebody else's interpretation of it. So the fact that you're taking that sort of just what I thought was a nice neat sort of integration into the Access world and running with it, I really like that. And I've also heard people talking about Access like during the session like it's not the place we're at right now. Is that true?
Axis is a city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Axis
Oh,
is the capital city of the Empire.
Okay, so the world. Okay, no, never mind. Okay, yeah. Great. So with that, I think what I would like to see more of. I like today's map. I like the idea of living on a map for a little bit where there are multiple objectives on the same map and sort of exploring the terrain, right? Like the fact that there was terrain to climb and then make a jump and then jump down and splash. Like I like that sort of navigation through the map. I like interactivity with dungeons and stuff. I make this point all the time.
I won't lie,
so-
I was mostly organic. I definitely thought it would be like quick pick up the dame at the start
Yeah.
of session and then fight along the road later. This session went different than I expected, but that's okay. That's generally the case.
Yeah, that definitely comes with. That's how you know you're getting comfortable in the seat, in the driver's seat, right? When you can come up with rulings like that on the fly. So I appreciate that. And that's it, I think, for my thoughts.
All right. Well, thanks everyone. Thanks again to our guests as well. We'll see you again next week as we explore what Kalia and Leanne's dad is up to.
Bye.